Pokémon Center drops can feel impossible to hit, but I promise you they're not if you know how to play them. And with the 30th anniversary UPC and Delta raindrops expected any day, knowing how to do this the right way could be the difference between scoring on product or completely missing out. So today I'm going to share with you my full process of how I hit on Pokémon Center all the way from the time that the queue goes live to the moment that I check out and secure product. But before we go into the bulk of the video today, guys, I have to plug the 5,000 subscriber giveaway for a 30th anniversary UPC. So if you want to enter to win a 30th anniversary UPC, all you got to do is go down below, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button on this video, and then write a comment with the word giveaway in it, and you will be entered to win a 30th anniversary UPC as soon as the channel hits 5,000 subs. We'll spin the wheel of names, and one of you guys will be randomly selected. All right, guys, now let's talk about how to hit on Pokémon Center. The first thing that I need to tell you is that you are going to need alerts. Alerts for Pokémon Center are essential to let you know when the queue is not only live, but when it is possibly going to go live. Right here, you can see the PokePulse TCG Discord, which is our Discord, so shameless little plug right there. But I do free Pokemon Center announcements the best that I possibly can on here. So like you can see, back on August 17th, the last time the Pokemon Center went live, I came in here at 8:25 a.m. and I said, Pokemon Center has loaded stuff on the back end. We could see a drop today. All right, so that was a big heads up for everybody, letting them know it's time. Looks like we're gonna see something. Be ready, which is huge. To know that it's time to be ready, there's a few things that you can get set up, which we're gonna talk about here in just a minute. So that way when the queue does go live, you're ready to get in there and you're ready to secure your products. Okay, now the first thing that I want to hurry and talk about before we talk about what to do once the queues go live is address a couple of little housekeeping things that you should do before Pokemon Center drop ever does occur. First one is that in the Pokemon Center website, you should create an account. Some people feel one way about it, some people feel the other way about it, but in my personal experience, having an account and having your information like your shipping address and whatnot saved in there is very beneficial. It's going to speed up your checkout, so there's less chances of it going out of stock before you check out. And on top of that, it's going to be less clicks in the website, which means less chances of getting an error 15 or 17, basically them flagging you as a bot and possibly trying to kick you out of the website, which, by the way, we'll talk about errors on the later half of this video, and I'll talk about how you can fix and address those. But first thing is first, please, please, please register for an account. I really do highly suggest it, okay? Next thing is, do not use a VPN. Lots of people think that using a VPN, or a lot of people do just use a VPN every day, but for Pokemon Center, again, it's going to flag you possibly as a bot if you're using a VPN, so I highly suggest that you do not use one. Now, last and final thing before we actually jump into what we're going to do when these notifications comes out, and that is that you need to have a backup device. I highly suggest that you're doing the Pokemon Center on a computer as well as on your phone. Okay, the reason why is because sometimes Pokemon Center has issues and it might refresh one or the other and set you back in the queue. So having a secondary device that you have Pokemon Center loaded up on is highly advantageous. Okay, now here are the big things about having two devices. Do not have them on the same Wi-Fi network. So if you're using your PC on a Wi-Fi network, use your cellular on cellular data. So that way they have a different IP address and they look different to the Pokemon Center. That way your IP doesn't get flagged as a bot as well, because that can happen. The other thing that I highly suggest is with your phone, use Google Chrome, okay? Use Google Chrome, and we'll talk about kind of what we should do in Google Chrome here in a minute, but use Google Chrome. It's where I have the most success as far as hitting with mobile goes. It's just my personal opinion. You can do what you want, but that is my 2 cents on it. Okay, so now let's talk about what actually happens when you get this notification right here that says the queue is live. By the way, if you would like to use somebody else's Discord and not mine, the other place that I would recommend going that is totally free is Rattle Pokemon. I'm not affiliated with them in any way, but they do a great job with their alert services. So if you don't want to support the PokePulse TCG Discord, totally fine. Go check out Rattle. They do a great job as well. But okay, you see that the queue is live. So then what are you going to do now that the queue is live? Well, you're going to have set up an incognito window like this with only one tab in it with the Pokemon Center pre-Googled. You're not in the website, okay? Definitely don't be in the website. You just want to be ready to click into the Pokemon Center. The other thing, don't have like 5 tabs of the Pokemon Center opened up, ready to click in on each of them. Having multiple windows open is a bad idea for the Pokemon Center. You're going to want to do it with one tab in incognito in Google Chrome, and you are going to click right here as soon as you hear that the queue is live. Not before, but as soon as it is live. After that occurs, here's what you're going to see. You are going to be put into a CAPTCHA, okay, which is basically them screening for bots. It's going to ask you to try and answer one of these security questions. I'm sure you've seen a million of these before. So you're going to go through and you're going to do this, but here is the key. Do not do this too fast. I've seen a lot of people say, hey, I had to do the CAPTCHA like 10 times before it let me through. And that's because you are clicking and spamming the CAPTCHA way too fast and it thinks that you are a robot. So slow down. Maybe even purposely click a wrong image and then deselect it a few seconds later, and it will maybe have you do 1 or 2 CAPTCHAs, and oftentimes it won't have you do a CAPTCHA again if you do it like that after the fact. But please do not go too fast on these CAPTCHAs, okay? It's very important that you don't. Once you have completed your CAPTCHA, you'll be placed into a screen that we are all familiar with if you tried for Pokémon Center drops in the past, like this. All right, now the big thing about this part and when you're sitting in the queue waiting to be let into the Pokémon Center is that you do not want to refresh your computer or your phone or whatever you are using to try to score on Pokémon Center. Do not refresh it pretty much no matter what, unless there is an error of some kind, which we will talk about here at later half of this video. But if you've made it this far and you are in the queue and it looks like this, do not refresh no matter what you do. Now, one thing you do want to do is you want to kind of move the screen maybe every 2, 3, 4 minutes. Just kind of scroll a little bit. Don't click, don't tap, just kind of scroll. Make it look like you're a human being. Well, one thing to avoid doing is clicking all over the place. Don't go crazy, don't be clicking, don't be scrolling all over the place like crazy. It will flag you as a bot, okay? I'm just saying. Now, the other thing is you can't just kind of set and forget this. Like you can to some extent, especially if like dual monitors. Like for me, I work on one screen and have the Pokemon Center up on another screen when I'm doing this. But you also have to be kind of ready because sometimes it will throw you into a reCAPTCHA. Sometimes after a minute, for whatever reason, Pokemon Center will reCAPTCHA you and you have to do one more of these. And then it will let you back in. And sometimes it will actually reset your time, which sucks, which is why we have multiple devices. But other times it will just put you right back in right where you were, okay? But there is one more thing that I do need to address with the queue, which relates to the wait time. Everybody freaks out about the wait time, especially when you first get in. This thing is going to skyrocket up to 20, 30, 40, 50, all the way up to 100 hours sometimes, making you think that you're not going to get in. Don't worry about the timer. The timer is all based on like who is in the website and how much time they are spending on the website before checking out and how many people are ahead of you. You have to realize some of the first people that get in, the product isn't live. They're going to be waiting on there. They're going to be sitting around in the website, which artificially raises the time. And then as the drop continues on, you'll see it start to move down. And eventually it will get to a point where it seems to actually be somewhat accurate, somewhat realistic, but still don't pay too much attention to the queue timer. It's kind of, it doesn't really do any good. It's just an arbitrary number. Don't focus on it, okay? So now you're let into the website. Let's say that you get in and now you are actually here inside the Pokemon Center website. What are you going to do? Well, first thing is first, kind of similar to other things we've talked about on the video so far, you need to move like a sloth, okay? Don't be clicking around everywhere. Don't be moving like this. Don't be doing all sorts of crazy things. Just get into the website, and oftentimes the main product that you are going to be trying to hit will be featured right here on the homepage, kind of like these Halloween decorations are right now, okay? Now, if it is not on the homepage, the item that you are going for, come up here to New Releases and click Shop All New Releases, okay? Now, typically, the newest stuff will populate up here on the top if you have it sorted by newest, okay? Sometimes you might have to search down through here. It's weird. The Pokemon Center acts funny during these drops, but that is where I would go right after if it's not on the home screen. Now, what happens if it's not in your new releases and you still can't find it and it's not on the home screen, it's not here? Where do you go next? Next thing I would try is actually using the search bar. Search up the product that you are looking for. If it's Delta Rain, type in Delta Rain or whatever it might be that you are trying to hit on that specific day. And last case scenario, say nothing works, you cannot find it, well, you can use direct links. Some places like Rattle Pokemon, and I will provide them as well inside of my Discord, will give you a direct link to the actual product and the product page itself, which you could put into your address bar up at the top. and reload into that page. Now it's a little bit spooky to do that just because you're basically in a way refreshing, but you're really not, because after you've been let in, your IP address is really given a session, but still that is the last thing that you want to do. This is definitely a fallback situation. First, definitely look for it on homepage, then new releases, then try the search bar. Final thing would be that you'd actually put in a direct link if you feel like you need to do it, okay? So now let's just say that you actually get an item, okay? So let's just come into here, you'd open up the item, again, moving so slow. You're just acting like a normal person. Maybe you can get one, maybe you can get two, so you increase your quantity, slowly add it to cart, okay? Now that you've done that, it will tell you that the product's added to cart. Still moving like a sloth here. Slowly come up to your cart and click on it, all right? Now, you are going to have your cart show you what you have in there. Everything should look a certain way. If it doesn't look a certain way, if you feel like there's something that you still need to go back and get, you can definitely do that at this point. But remember, the more time you spend on here, the more chance there's going to be stuff going out of stock. Also, more chances that you could get flagged as a bot because you're clicking around. Now, you can check out as a guest or you can sign in and check out. So I would highly suggest that you sign in and check out, because that is what is going to allow you to use all that pre-populated stuff that you are going to have in your account that you did before we actually before this drop actually occurred. Now, I'm not going to sign in and check out and all that kind of stuff because obviously this is just an example, but that is where you would go next. But there are a couple things that I want to address that you do not want to do in the checkout station. The first one is that you do not want to use autofill. A lot of computers want to do autofill for you with your name, credit card numbers, things like that. Do not use autofill. That is one more thing that can trigger it to think that, hey, this guy's a robot, kick him the heck out of here, we need to get him out, okay? So do not do that. Now, after that is done though, and you've put in all your information, you're gonna put in usually just it might just be your name and your card information, and all it is actually if you have an account signed up, then all you're going to do after that is simply push the checkout button and you will get a confirmation that you have secured your items. And that is really it. That's all there is to it. But before we go, let's talk about some errors, because unfortunately there are errors that can occur on the Pokémon Center website. So knowing what the different errors are and what they mean and how to resolve them, I think can be extremely helpful. So let's hurry and talk about those. The first error that you need to know about is a error 15, okay? Error 15 is basically saying that you have been flagged for suspicious behavior and that it basically thinks that you're a bot. You've been clicking too fast, okay? Now, before I hurry and give you the resolution to that, let me talk about two more, because the resolution for these other two are basically the same. The other one is error 17, which is basically saying that your IP has actually been flagged as being suspicious. And then the last one is error 18, which is basically saying that your signature looks automated or it looks like it's too old, okay? So if for any reason you're in the queue or anywhere along the process and you get an error 15, 17, or 18, all you need to do is reset your IP address, okay? So in order to do that on your cell phone, it's really easy. You'd simply turn on airplane mode and then you would turn it back off. And your IP address will reset itself and you should be able to either requeue or hopefully get back into the site if you were in there. If you're on PC, it can be a little bit more difficult. You're gonna have to go into your settings, go into your network settings, and you will have to find your reset IP address settings, or if that's too much at the time and it's just faster for you, you could always go and unplug your router and leave it there for a minute or two and then plug it back in, and that should also reset your IP address. Okay. Now, one more thing that can happen, say that you are at the point in the Pokémon Center where we are right here and you're going to click on the website and you click on the website, but instead of it loading up this home screen, it gives you an error 504. Basically what that means is the site is just getting bombarded with way too much traffic, and because of that, it means that you need to basically just refresh the site. And hopefully it will let you into the queue. This will very likely only happen when the queue very first goes live. So don't worry about that too much. But yeah, if you get an error 504 on your attempt to get into the website, just know it's because of traffic and you just need to refresh and it should let you in. Now, there's one more topic that I want to talk about, and that is valuing your time, okay? Like, you can hit on a lot of Pokemon Center drops for brand new product, okay? For pre-release stuff, like this stuff coming out for 30th, for Delta Rain. New sets, I think, are great opportunities that you should take advantage of and try to hit those products, because really they are usually high stock. They are high stock items, And they last long enough that I think that most people have a very good chance of actually hitting on those products. Now, if it's something like what we saw on the 17th, where it's older products, or it's something that they're restocking, where they maybe found a couple boxes or whatnot in the back of the warehouse, and they're just going to try to get it out through Pokémon Center, pick those selectively. Like if you have the time that day and you feel like doing it, I guess you can, but also realize that that is very, very limited stock, and it's very likely to get botted, and it's very likely to get eaten up before you get a chance to actually get through the queue. So it can be very disappointing, and especially if you value your time, you don't necessarily want to do that. Basically what I'm getting at is you're going to want to make sure that you're picking the drops that you go for, and value your time a little bit. Just realize that, like, hey, time is valuable, and it might not be worth going after those low stock drops. Okay, so we've made it to the very point in this video where you are geared up, you know how to hit on the Pokemon Center. So I wish you all the best of luck, but before you go, I have to do one more thing, and that is shout out our Master Legends, okay? So the Pokepolls has a Pokepoll Legendary where you get access to our Pokemon data analyzing spreadsheet, as well as to private sections of the Discord. We have a section right here, or a level right here, where you get basic access to everything for $250 per month because it's on sale for the 2,000 subscriber giveaway, which I've got to update because we just barely hit 3,000 subscribers. But some people have elected to become Master Legends, which gives them a little bit more access inside of the Discord, as well as early access to videos. And of course, I'm going to give them some recognition at the end of the videos in the credits. So first person that I have to shout out is I Got Your Squirrel. He is our brand new Master Legend, so thank you very much, I Got Your Squirrel. We all greatly appreciate you for supporting the channel, making what we do here a possibility. And the other person that I have to shout out is Avamon Collects. That is his eBay store name. If you're curious, that's not like his screen name, that is his eBay store name. Go check out Avamon Collects on eBay. He's got some awesome singles and stuff over there that are for sale. He runs it with his daughter. He's a great guy, down-to-earth person. Highly suggest you go check him out. So thank you to both of you so much for your support to the channel, and thank you everybody else who has also signed up for the Pokepoll Legend tier to have access to the spreadsheet, which also supports the channel. Of course, it means a bunch. And if you guys are interested, feel free to go check out that pinned comment. Again, I will have a link there as well to be able to join and get access to our spreadsheets, even though we really didn't talk about them much in today's video. If you go check out some of my other videos, you'll see what kind of things we're doing with the Pokemon data spreadsheet. So if it's something that you're interested in, go check it out. Otherwise, if not, totally understand. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Really appreciate you. I wish you all the best of luck on the Pokemon Center drops that are coming up forward. 30th anniversary's hype, Delta Rain is hype. I'm excited. I want everybody to flourish and win. I think we all can. That's one thing that Pokemon Center does a good job of for the most part, is making it to where if you're following some type of a process like this, that you could very likely hit. Guys, until the next video, peace.